What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Oui, madame. J'ai beaucoup de choses à vous raconter.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Je vais pas l'écouter.
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional shambler.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Ah non, je peux plus lui poser les autres questions. Sur CETTE.
Did she really care for him after all?
Ça a l'air c'est un
Day the
petit
Shambler
enculé.
came into the Sanders' lives.
Ok. Je vais faire la reconstitution, mais avant j'ai besoin de fouiller.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? The
T'as
Shambler.
arraché les yeux.
I need to see it.
Oh!
Is this
Je le fais
dagger
exprès.
part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
A strange Amerindian pendant. I could use one of those.
Putain, mais y'a tout le monde qui prend des pilules pour dormir, c'est un truc de fou.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Il voulait pas lui
Another
vendre.
volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Putain, en médecine, je me mets grave bien. Hein.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
I found this drawing of a dagger. Did you come across anything like it in your reading?
Perhaps. I saw several daggers in the ledgers. I could always check. What I didn't find, however, was the slightest reason why I should help you, Detective.
I don't need your services. I can manage all on my own, thanks.
Do it then. Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Ça fallait le voir ce truc. Ça c'est pour se cacher.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Putain, elle est grave stylée sa galerie.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Ça c'est mon préféré. Je le trouve trop stylé. Attends, je vais finir de fouiller avant de regarder le Shambler. Tu peux rien regarder hein?
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian
j'ai vu.
times. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
C'est ça la dague qu'on a vue sur le livre. Ouais, voilà, c'est ça. Monsieur, derrière vous, si faites attention. Il est stylé, hein. Il a pas d'œil, il doit être aveugle, je pense.
What the hell was that?
Oh, bah du coup c'est ça la dague.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Non, je peux taper. Là t'es sûr.
What the hell was that?
toujours la même dague. Il a pas peur de la lumière, rien? Ça lui fait rien? Non. Bon. C'est grave dur en fait de... À moins que ça soit uniquement quand on le regarde, je sais pas. Allez, casse-toi. Et toujours au même endroit la dague.
This dagger looks different.
Oh non, il va aller fouiller. Il va mettre grave du temps à partir. Bah. Putain, mais il m'entend trop rapidement. Bouge. Bouge. Eh ben,
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature. This dagger was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this shambler, she might have made contact with Drake. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
ok.
Where's the bookseller? Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Je sais pas où j'en suis dans ces livres-là, mais...
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Ok. Livre de Freud. J'aime parce que je suis en train de voler plein de livres, je les mets tous dans ma poche. Y'a rien là-dedans? Ok. Ça doit être un bon endroit ça pour augmenter sa médecine ou
What
son
happened
occultisme.
here?
Je reviens juste après.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Ouais là ça augmente de fou. Hein.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
Ça parle du chambleur. Un 4 sur 5 hein, en occultisme et en médecine, ça avance pas mal aussi. Hein. D'ailleurs, j'ai pas des points à dépenser, j'en ai 2.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. To whom does this footprint belong? This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
J'ai pas fouillé cette pièce du coup.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. Where did I see it? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Ok.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping
Ouais,
pills?
voilà, c'est ce que j'ai dit.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Il y a vraiment tout le monde qui prend des pilules.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never. How many volumes are there in this collection? Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Je suis con, il est là.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
The Queen has little protection. The
Ah, mais il est là, le
chalice
Graal.
of knowledge. The chalice of knowledge.
Peut-être d'autres trucs du coup dans ce salle.
The chalice of knowledge.
Y a pas un numéro que... Ah d'accord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ça doit pas être ça. Attends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 aussi. Mais attends, mais quoi?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Donc là,
The
c'est le nombre de
chalice
pierres
of
rouges.
knowledge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Le problème, c'est que je suis daltonien, donc ça, c'est des pierres vertes, hein, on est d'accord. Hein. Moi, c'est 5 en premier. Voilà. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel? Ok, pas du tout. Pas du tout.